Hey, concert choir. So I've never actually made a video recording of myself, so I feel kind of funny doing this. But while I'm gone these 3 days, you got to learn something, okay? So we're going to learn, it's called the furthest flat to the right is fa, and the furthest sharp to the right is ti. If there are no flats or sharps, you're in the key of C. Okay, so I will repeat that again. It's called the furthest flat to the right is fa, the furthest sharp to the right is ti. If there are no flats or sharps, you're in the key of C. What that means is C equals do. You don't have to worry about that quite yet, but we are going to learn a little bit about it. So here's how we're going to start. First of all, we have these things called key signatures, okay? You see how I have one flat here and I have another flat here, okay? So this is called a key signature. It's just like when I sign my name at the bank, like this, okay? That's my signature. It tells people, oh, you can't even see that. Okay, it tells people who I am. This tells you where do is going to be. So that's where this comes in. Furthest flat equals fa. So if I'm looking here, the furthest flat to the right, so your right is going to be fa. So this note right here on this space is going to be fa. From there, I can find do. Okay, so fa, this is going to be mi. You have to think of this as like a staircase. It goes down. Fa, mi, re, do. So you know that do is going to be on this line. Okay, so using that trick again, you will notice furthest flat to the right is fa. Okay, these things are called flats. So the furthest flat to the right is fa. We're going to circle the furthest flat, so we know that any note on this line is going to be fa. Okay, and then we count out from there. Fa, mi, re, do. A shortcut, okay, that you actually might be able to use once you get the hang of this is that do is always the second to last flat, okay? But initially learning it is a lot easier to say the furthest flat to the right is fa. So the furthest sharp to the right is ti. So we have sharps or hashtags. Again, we want to circle the furthest one to the right. This one's a lot easier because ti is only one step down from do. So you draw ti on this line. Well, where is ti from do? Oh, look at that. And then you draw do. Does that make sense? Nod and say yes. Okay. So again, we want to, let's do this. Remember that the furthest flat to the right is fa. The furthest sharp to the right is ti. So, looking at these, no matter what, we're looking at the one that is the furthest to the right. So this is the furthest flat, and this is the furthest sharp. This one's going to be fa, which means that this is do, okay? And this one's going to be ti, which means this one is going to be do. Now, if you look at the worksheet that was passed out to you, okay, you will see that your very, very first one looks like this, okay? So first what you have to do is you have to circle the furthest flat. Super easy, okay? Do it with me. Circle. Okay, good. Now, you're going to draw fa. Draw like that, okay? Draw fa. From there, you need to find do. So you just count down. Fa, mi, re, do is going to be right there. That is what number one should look like when you are finished with it, okay? The same thing with, if you look at number 20, okay? Number 20 looks like this, okay? Again, furthest sharp to the right. You just want to circle the one that's to the right. The big thing is that you have to remember flats are fa, sharp is T, okay? So this is going to be T. And up from there is going to be do. So that's what number 20 should look like. The big thing that's going to confuse you, but it shouldn't confuse you, is this bad boy right here, okay? This is called a treble clef. But sometimes in our lives, men, we have these things called bass clefs, okay? The flats or the sharps end up on different lines, but it's still the same. You still circle the furthest one to the right, okay? And then you still draw fa or T, and you still draw do from there, okay? It does not change. There, get to work.